Do these additional revenue opportunities that come in through cross-selling add to the top line alone, or do these come at better margins because the solution is already there? You're merely deploying it with a new player.
So better margin is definitely one area, because if you say email itself is a 70-80% margin, like if it's a voice solution is 40% margin. If it is a WhatsApp or RCS or Viber, it's over 30% margin. So I think overall, if you combine, SMS is also about 23 to 21 to 23% margin. Like if you go to Latin America market, where margin GP is over 35% on SMS as well. So I think it's a combination of everything, and the reason we are bullish about our margin growth also in coming quarters, because we believe that new channel of communication apart from messaging is also started generating more revenue and volume for us now.
Okay, so from 22.4% gross margins that I believe you hit this quarter, you've guided to 23% average for the rest of the year, right? Am I not wrong? All right.
Yes, it can be. Maybe it's more also, but I think we are guiding between 21 to 23 is what we are guiding, because there may be a particular quarter where we can get lots of volume. And because of that, maybe some customer is on the lower, this thing. But again, between 21 to 23 is definitely a guidance which we want to give it to our stakeholder for this year.
So in which case it's steady state. You already hit that number and you kind of look to maintain it.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. One question that I had when I looked at your numbers, the billable transactions, and I'm just looking at it sequentially. We can also look at it YOY, but sequentially, when I looked at it for ease of communication, the billable transactions went up from 18 billion to 25 billion, right? And revenue didn't grow at the same pace. So is there a disconnect here? Could that always happen, that the billable transactions would move up quite a bit, but the revenue growth may not be commensurate?
Not exactly, but you are right. It's a combination of market mix. We operate from various geographies. Like if you talk about Africa, where cost per SMS is maybe lower than as compared to European countries. If you talk about the email as a solution, we process over 3 billion email transaction, which is very low in terms of realization, but very high in margin. At the same time, when you talk about some banking customer whose traffic started coming to our platform, like India is also like classic example of India, where 10 to 11 paisa or even 9.5 paisa is a combination price. So overall email contribution and plus the Colombia market is also very low in terms of cost per realization, but very high in margin. So our volume in those markets also increase a lot, because we serve almost 50-70% of the enterprise customer in those markets, and our volume did increase in those markets. So it's again combination. You can say that our volume will not directly relate to our revenue every time, but it depends. The kind of guidance we are giving to our stakeholder right now is over 50%. That is indeed because based on certain customer which we have in pipeline in European countries or in Middle East countries. Maybe in Europe, if I send just 10 million SMS, which is equivalent to 200 million of Colombia. So one should not take that as a volume against our revenue, because it's all about different geographic mix, and we operate from almost all the geographies. So there might be one geography who can contribute higher volume in a particular quarter, and some may contribute less. So it's a combination of everything. So one should not treat our revenue in that way.
Okay. So this uptick in guidance from at least 40% to 50%, is it at least 50% or 50%?
It's at least 50% is the right way.
Yeah. So this uptick to at least 50%, Rajdeep, is it on the back of some European clients that you've lined up, or some recent, I believe, BFS wins that you announced, which I presume start taking shape in the current quarter? What gives you this confidence?
So, Neeraj, if you see our revenue mix also, like H1 against H2. So our H2 is always better than H1. Like that is the historic performance we have shown in past also. So our H1 is always 45% and H2 is always 55%. And with the current run rate, even if you just analyze, like we are almost reaching to 2,800 crores or 2,900 crores. And even if I just give guidance of 50%, it is 3,000 crore. So I think with current run rate also, we can achieve 50%. And if all goes well, maybe it can be more than 50% also. But I want to stick to at least 50% at this point of time.